All right. Good Sunday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Sunday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go and talk about the weather for your Sunday evening going into your future. First off, I do want to say, if you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button. Share it with all of the people that you know. Because we are trying to get to 600 subscribers. We're at 517. Yes, 517 subscribers right now. We need 83 more. 83 more until we get to our goal of 600. So, we've been climbing. We've been getting subscribers daily. That's a good thing. Hopefully that continues to rise. But without further ado, we're not going to waste really any more time. We're just going to go on and get started with our forecast for tonight, also for the week as well. So we're not only going to talk about tonight, but just for the rest of the week as well. So let's go and talk with the recorded audience for the people who can unfortunately not make it. Good Sunday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. Hopefully everyone has had a fantastic Sunday. I am your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Sunday evening going into your future. Now, looking at the radar right now, we do have some rainfall going on throughout the state of South Carolina right now. Like, for example, over inside of Greenville. Maybe receiving an isolated shower up there. Also near Gaffney, Cowpen, South Carolina, going inside Salem. Walhalla, Calhoun Falls as well also has some rainfall through there. Jackson, South Carolina, Santee, South Carolina, all of these regions as well. And then also some other isolated shower activity, but it's not much. Going inside of what's going on throughout the entire United States, we do have some rainfall activity going on in places like Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, going into Arkansas and Missouri. We also do have some rainfall in Wisconsin, Virginia, New Mexico, Colorado, South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, and even Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and Northern California maybe as well. So a lot going on throughout the U.S. Just pretty much almost every state right now, except for up here in the Northeast, has some rainfall going on through it. And I'm also up here in the Pacific Northwest, I guess, as well. Here is our cloud cover. Cloud cover right now is actually looking pretty scattered, especially in like the Midlands. Low country looks clear, the PD looks clear, but we do have some widespread cloud cover up there inside the upstate of South Carolina. So A lot of regions up there receiving some cloud cover right now inside of the upstate. And if we go into the future as well, you can see that as we push this forward, that cloud cover will pretty much stay pretty much the same. This is tomorrow morning right here around 7 a.m. when I push out my morning forecast update. That cloud cover is starting to get its way through from the southern Midlands to the upstate. And then even as you push this into tomorrow afternoon, cloud cover starts to take over a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. You see like the blue is actually the cloud cover, the white is actually like the clear sky, which you would think it'd be the opposite, but apparently it's not. So the blue is actually the cloud cover, and the white is actually the clear sky. So overall, seeing a lot of cloud cover up there in the upstate though. Current temperatures right now, 82 in Columbia, 80 in Orangeburg, as well as 82 in Somerville, 81 in Georgetown, as well as 81 in Murrells Inlet, 81 in Charleston, as well as 81 in Myrtle Beach and Conway and North Myrtle Beach, 80 inside of Aiken, as well as 81 in Greenwood, 81 in Newbury, 81 also inside of, or 80 also inside of Gaffney, Spartanburg, York, Rock Hill, 77 in Greenville as well. As we go into our low temperatures for tonight, overall is going to be around 72 in Greenville, 70 in Spartanburg, as well as 72 in Rock Hill, 72 in Anderson, as well as 70 in Lauren, 74 in Columbia, as well as 73 in Orangeburg, 72 in Walterboro, 73 in Moncks Corner, as well as 78 in Charleston, 73 in Georgetown, and 76 in Myrtle Beach, 73 in Florence, and 74 in Sumter as well. Going into your rainfall for today, overall the rainfall for today, or for tonight going to tomorrow night, around a good 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch is possible for a lot of us. Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, Winnsboro, Columbia, Aiken, Barnwell, Walterboro, Moncks Corner, Kingstree, Dillon, and Cheraw as well, also included in that 100th of an inch to a 10th of an inch, or maybe even a 10th of an inch to a quarter of an inch for places like Camden as well. And then other places, maybe like a quarter of an inch to a half an inch, maybe even up close to an inch is possible for some isolated regions as well, going throughout the state as we go through tonight and tomorrow night. Into severe weather, there is no severe weather that is expected for South Carolina as we go through. They actually have not updated it yet, so this is still what it is right now. The entire state still has a chance for a thunderstorm with these showers that are going on throughout the state. As we go into tomorrow, the entire state of South Carolina has a chance for a thunderstorm again for tomorrow. And Tuesday, there is a low risk for some severe weather. Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, level 1 out of 5, or a 5% risk for some severe weather going into Tuesday. So that again for Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, going into York, also over there near Dillon and Cheraw and places like that, going into maybe even Bennettsville as well. And I believe Winnsboro is also in there as well. Now, most likely, if I was to take a guess, probably wind would probably be the main threat, maybe hail. But that's what I'm looking at for Tuesday. Going into our excessive rainfall outlook, you can see here that as we start off with tonight, we have this minor risk of flooding up here for the upstate of South Carolina. Pretty much it is, overall it's pretty much going to go away most likely. But as we go into tomorrow, there actually is another risk for some minor flooding, again for Pickens, Walhalla, Travelers Rest, and Boiling Springs, or at least just to the north of Boiling Springs as well. As we go into Tuesday, pretty much the entire upstate of South Carolina, is going inside of a minor risk of flooding, a marginal risk for Tuesday. Also, if you're inside the Columbia, Aiken, Augusta region as well, there is a minor risk of flooding there as well. And if you go into Wednesday, this spreads all the way down from Orangeburg, Sumter, Florence, Conway, Myrtle Beach, Somerville, Charleston, Hilton Head Island. So pretty much the entire low country, the entire Grand Strand, pretty much most of the PD and the southern Midlands are inside of a minor risk of flooding for Wednesday. And Thursday we get a break. So that's all in terms of excessive rainfall. As we go into the models now, starting off here at 9 o'clock p.m., as we go on and push this forward, you can see the rainfall that is there. As we continue moving this forward, you can see that overall rainfall and thunderstorm activity will pretty much not be a thing as we move all the way to around 1 p.m. As we push forward past 1 p.m., by 4 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock, those showers and thunderstorms will start to pop back up in the upstate of South Carolina, going into like the Midlands as well. And by the time you get to around 7 to 8 p.m., you could have like a little line of showers and storms starting to form. Not strong, but just something to look for. And if you go again to that around like that 3 to 4 a.m. time frame on July the 1st, the first day of July, there is those showers and thunderstorms will start to again no longer be a thing anymore. But one thing that I am looking for is on Tuesday, on July the 1st, there is some isolated shower and downpour activity that's even going on in the morning time as well. And then when you get to the afternoon as well, it's kind of still just there. Again, this is the day that we're going to have our severe weather, and I'm going to assume that's going to come from this area up here. Again, this is 2 o'clock p.m., and I'm going to assume it's going to move its way to the east, as you can kind of see the motion already moving to the east. As we go into the future, and this week in general, since it is Sunday evening, we're going to talk about the weather for this week, June the 29th through Saturday, July the 5th. And we're going to talk about each day, except for obviously Sunday and Monday, because we talked about those 2 days already. We're going to talk about Tuesday, though. Tuesday looks like some rainfall is definitely expected, even Wednesday as well. Wednesday as well, looking like it could be a rainy day for most of us, and even Wednesday. I already said Wednesday, Thursday as well. Looking like it could also be a pretty rainy day as well. Friday and Saturday, things start to calm down just a little bit, but our main rain days this week will most likely be Wednesday and Thursday. And so, I was looking at 7-day forecasts for a lot of areas throughout the state. Pretty much everyone's from the 60s to the 70s in terms of percent chance of rainfall, but some maybe potentially even in the 80s the more closer we get. But right now it's looking like that rainfall activity will mainly be dominant on Wednesday and Thursday, but other days still will have that chance of rainfall as well. So everyone will still receive their everyday chance for rainfall throughout the week this week. But let's go even further past this week, going into July the 6th and July the 7th, even July the 8th as well, going to July the 9th. That rainfall activity looking very prominent. July the 10th through the 11th, and once we get to around like the 12th, we can't really get too much further than that, just because that's over 300 hours at that point, so we can't really go any further than that. But what I will say is that it's looking like that it is just another repeat of it last week. Just rainfall, showers and thunderstorms every single day. You probably won't see rainfall every single day this week, but you will have that chance every single day this week. Let's go on now and look at the temperature anomalies, because I do want to see that as we go on and push through this week as well. You can see that overall some cooler than average temperatures will try to take place, but that's because of a cold front that's going to push through on like Wednesday, Thursday-ish, and that's going to bring some cooler temperatures for sure. But right after it, warm temperatures are going to take right back over. Cool temperatures will try to be a bit more into it because of probably the amount of rainfall, like as we get into like July the 7th and the 8th. But by the time we get to around like the 9th and the 10th, we're looking at maybe some cooler than average temperatures as we go. But again, that's like going into like late next week, so we still got a little bit of a time to get before we get to there. But cooler than average temperatures may be coming back next week, especially at the far end of the week. And in terms of how cool those temperatures could be, again, not going to be exact, but we can check and see. Obviously, it's probably like in the 70s, yeah. So not cool, but in the 70s, maybe some in the mid 60s, but that's like up there, like in the far upstate of South Carolina, like going to like July the 11th. But that's it in terms of our temperature anomalies. Let's go on and look at the temperature anomalies for this week. So as we go through this week, just on average, temperatures this week will be above average. That's not really too much of a surprise. We're going to have a little bit of a cool down when that cold front passes, but it's not really going to do too much. Temperatures, we're already seeing temperatures like in the high 70s, some in the mid 70s, but they're mainly just saying that those temperatures might get to the low 70s, high 60s potentially. So not too much of a cool down, but it is, some coolness that you can look forward to the middle of this week. So, but everyone will be above average though this week in terms of temperatures on an average basis. And if you go into Precipitation, interestingly enough, the only area that has a below chance for some precipitation is like maybe the coastal region, like the coastal Grand Strand region going into like the low country of South Carolina as well. Everyone inside of this yellow region right here, that's below average only by around like a little bit. That's not much. Like up here, you see like the more vibrant yellow up here. That's like way below average. But up here, it's just a little light, yellow. Nothing really too much. So not going to be too far off. And everyone else pretty much is just average. If you're inside the white, which pretty much is everyone else, you're just average in terms of this week. So nothing else really to talk about there. As we go into the tropics, obviously because the tropics, that is also another huge thing that we've also been talking about. You may see that we have two things going on. First off, Tropical Storm Barry is a 45-mile-per-hour storm right now. Tropical Storm Barry will produce heavy rainfall across portions of the northeastern Mexico through Monday. Life-threatening flooding and mudslides are possible, particularly in areas of steep terrain. Also, tropical storm conditions, especially in gust, are expected later today and tonight over portions of eastern Mexico in the tropical storm warning area. So, tropical storm force conditions are moving in to the eastern side of Mexico right now, and they're going to have some heavy rainfall as well. Maybe some rainfall of up to 6 to 8 inches, and some isolated areas could get potentially up to 10 inches of rainfall over there. Let's go on and look at this other area, though, that I've been looking at over here. This is right off the coast of South Carolina, so this might have to be something that we watch for. And if you were paying attention to the models, I didn't really mention it, but you may have just saw a little bit of a disturbance right off the coast of Florida. But let's look at this right here. Towards the end of the week and into next weekend, so the end of this week, meaning like 7 days from now, into next weekend, an area of low pressure could develop from a remnant frontal boundary near along the southeastern U.S., and that's actually going to be the front that passes us on like Wednesday and Thursday. So that front is going to develop, obviously, into a low pressure, and it could potentially gradually make some tropical or maybe even subtropical development as it drifts slowly just off the U.S. coastline. And its motion, it could go all the way from like the coastal regions of Alabama and Florida all the way up towards the Carolina region. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with this. It's still 7 to 10 days out, so we're still just watching to see if it will even form in the first place. But there is a 0% chance of this thing forming for the next 2 days, but there is a 20% chance of this thing forming during the next 7 days. So we are watching that, but nothing really to be worried about or anything like that yet, as this is still just going on, and we're getting still into July. But if this does go, worst case scenario, I honestly am really going to be interested to see what September or October would bring if we're already getting some disturbance or maybe even a named storm in early July. But again, we don't know if that's going to happen or not. Let's go on now and look at the crazy score. We're at a 22 for tonight inside the mild category. Slightly breezy or cloudy, but no major concerns. Really just emphasis on the cloudy. It's going to be a calm night tonight, but just cloudy pretty much. So that's what we are looking for. Let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off, Trail says, greetings everyone, greetings to you. How was your day? How are you enjoying your summer break? I sure am. Day was great. My name says, hello, Jay. Hello to you. Mr. Oliver says, happy Sunday. Another hot day at my house. It got a little cloudy today, but still no rainfall. The pond still looks full with no visible shoreline. Still hoping for cooler weather. I am losing to Berkeley Electric right now. Yeah, you will have a bit of relief going into the middle of the week. But as you go into next weekend, so when I say, or the weekend following next weekend, we could potentially have some cooler than average temperatures there as well. So, some relief could be coming in through the future. So you just have to wait that one out though. But for now, you're still losing to Berkeley Electric for right now. Mr. Anthony says, good evening everyone, good evening to you. And that's it. So I will talk about the poll in just a second because I see the results are mostly in. Let's go on and talk about the three areas outside of South Carolina, that being San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia. If you don't know why we talk about those regions, we talk about them because we have people in those areas that tune in to our forecast. So starting off with San Antonio first, low temperatures tonight 74, high temperatures tomorrow at 93, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 74. There is a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and tomorrow night, but there is no precipitation tonight, just in general. In terms of severe weather, there is no severe weather that is expected. If you go towards excessive rainfall as well, there is indeed nothing. So you're good in terms of severe weather and good in terms of excessive rainfall. Raleigh being the next location, low temperatures tonight 74, high temperatures tomorrow 93, low temperatures tomorrow night 75. There's a slight chance of thunderstorms tonight, and there is a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow. No precipitation is expected as you go towards tomorrow night, though. There is a threat for some, maybe a low threat for some severe storms as you go into Tuesday, only a 5 to 14% chance of receiving some severe weather. That's on Tuesday. And overall, past that, that's it in terms of severe weather. Excessive rainfall tonight, minor flooding is possible if it has not already occurred. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, you also have a threat for some minor flooding as well. And then Philadelphia being the last location that we talk about, with low temperatures tonight 73, high temperatures tomorrow 90, low temperatures tomorrow night 75. No precipitation is expected tonight, but a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow and tomorrow night. In terms of severe weather, there is a chance for some severe weather tomorrow. It's pretty low, though, as there is a chance for some gusty winds, 40 to 60 miles per hour tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, you're actually under a slight risk of severe weather. That's a 15 to 29% chance for some severe weather. So that's a level 2 out of 5, so possible. It is possible that you will receive some severe weather on Tuesday. In terms of excessive rainfall, some minor flooding is possible on Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's pretty much it. So let's go on now and talk about what's going on throughout the entire U.S. Isolated scattered strong to severe thunderstorms may produce damaging winds and hail in the upper Great Lakes into the central high plains. Heavy rainfall may create localized areas of flash flooding over parts of the central plains and the mid-Mississippi Valley. Showers and thunderstorms are expected or possible over parts of the mid-Atlantic as well. And as you saw up there, like in Philadelphia, severe weather is definitely going to occur in some regions. Also, we do have some heat going on in Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Louisiana, as well as Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and Idaho. As well, we also do have some extreme heat in Southern California and Arizona as we speak. And other than that, there's also another thing. If we go on over here towards the eastern Pacific, we have Tropical Storm Flossie just formed. The outer bands of Tropical Storm Flossie may bring locally heavy rainfall to the Mexican states of, I'm not going to try and say those names at all, through early this week. Life-threatening flooding and mudslides are possible, particularly in areas of steep terrain. It also says the tropical storm watch is in effect for southwestern Mexico, and tropical storm warnings could be required later tonight. So it's kind of crazy. They're going to have a tropical storm on the eastern side of Mexico, and then they're also going to have a tropical storm on the western side of Mexico, or at least tropical storm force winds on the western side of Mexico, which is just pretty much two tropical storms that are pretty much going to be hitting them close to the same time. And this will actually turn into a hurricane. As for, let me see, the maximum intensity is actually going to be around a category 2. It's going to have winds of up to 100 miles per hour with gusts of up to 120 near the center as it moves its way just to the north and west. And by the time it gets over here towards like the Gulf of California, it's going to be, wind speeds are going to be around to 35 and max wind gusts of up to 45. That's to like the west of the Gulf of California though. But that's it in terms of what's going on throughout the entire U.S. and just surrounding areas in terms of the tropics as well. And I will be back tomorrow morning with your Monday morning forecast update. Let me see what's going on in terms of the chat one more time, though. We did actually get another chat, so hold that thought 1 second. Thad says, good evening, Joseph. I trust all is well outside at the moment, transplanting our tomatoes from one pot to another. That is great to hear that you got some good vegetation going on out there, even though with all the drought stuff going on, I don't know how many times a week you have to water it. But, um, like I said, hopefully some more rain can push through soon, as you still are under that worst drought right now. The poll right now, 8 people have voted, and so far, everyone has chosen different things. So, 12% says it's going to be sunny and clear. Or I actually said, what type of weather do you want this week? 12% says they want sunny and clear weather, which would be a miracle. 25% says that they want the same weather we have been receiving, which honestly I'm shocked that a lot of people like this muggy and hot weather, which I'm not complaining. 50% says they want it to be stormy and cooler, and 12% says they want it to be hot but less muggy, meaning like hot and dry. So if I was to have to pick though, I probably would be inside the hot but less muggy group. If I was to be inside of a group, which I guess sunny and clear could also be the same thing as hot but less muggy. But that's pretty much it. If you want to go on and answer the poll, I'm still, going to be looking at it. Also, make sure that you can go on and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. We're at 517 subscribers. We are 83 away from our goal of 600. So let's go on and get there. Everyone have a fantastic rest of your Sunday evening. I will be back tomorrow morning with your Monday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic week, and let's start it off strong.